Hello everyone. Welcome back to the second lecture on basics of percentages. So in the first lecture, what we did was we basically understood how to calculate percentage, what is an absolute value, what is a percentage value. Then once done with that, we saw a couple of basic examples, and then we discussed some important statements. Right now, moving on from there, in today's video, we'll be discussing the first application of percentage, that is the percentage change. So when you talk about this topic percentage change, or when you talk about this concept percentage change, in most of the books you will observe that the formula for percentage change is given as final value minus initial value divided by initial value into 100%. The percentage change is nothing but final value minus initial value divided by initial value into 100%. Let's suppose if I give you a simple example, let's suppose the value of the stocks in 2020 was, let's say, $20, and in 2021 it became, let's say, $30. So what is the net percentage change? So what you'll do is you'll say that the net percentage change is 30 minus 20 divided by 20 into 100%, and your answer will come out to be 50%. That is, the net percentage change is 50%. So for easy questions like these, this formula definitely works out and you are never confused. But now let me give you another example. So the question goes something like this. Salary of A is 200% more than salary of B. Salary of A is 200% more than salary of B. By what percent? By what percent B's salary is less than A's salary? By what percent B's salary is less than A's salary? Now what you can do is you can like pause the video and you can try this question once by yourself. Like the formula is also given to you, so try this question and then we'll discuss this in detail so that you'll understand what exactly is meant by this concept percentage change. Alright, now let's start. Now whenever I give this question to my students, what they usually reply is that the answer is 200%. The usual answers that I get are 200%, I don't know, 66.66% and 33.33%. This is usually what I get, and generally it's like first, second and the fourth one. I rarely get the third one, which is in fact the correct answer. So they say that if you're increasing something by 200%, to put it back to that same level you have to decrease it by 200%, which is the wrong way to express. See, I told you in the first lecture that when you talk about percentage, percentage is a relative quantity. It depends upon the base value. It depends upon base value. For example, let's suppose I have two numbers, 50 and 100. 50 and 100. Now, if you go from 50 to 100, there is a change of 50. There is a change of 50 over 50. If you go from 100 to 50, there is again a change of 50 over 100. If I ask you that if you're going from 50 to 100, then what is the percentage change or what is the percentage increase? Or if I ask you, like, let me put this in a simple words, like 100 is what percent of 50, or in a better way, 100 is what percent more than 50. So the answer will be 100 is 100% more than 50. 100 is 100% more than 50. But if I ask you like what is 50 in terms of 100, then you'll say that 50 is 50% less than 100. 50 is 50% less than 100. Now understand that this is very crucial. If you want to go from 50 to 100, the increment, the absolute increment is 50, but the percentage increment is 100%. But the percentage increment is 100%. But when you're going from 100 to 50, the absolute change again is 50. The absolute change is again 50, but the percentage change is 50%. Why is there a difference? The difference is because of the base value. In the first case, my base value is 50, so it's going to be 50 by 50 into 100%, which is 100%. In the second case, my base value is 100, so it will be 50 by 100 into 100%, that is 50%. This is what is meant by base value. So if you are increasing something by 200%, in order to go back to that same value, you will not decrease the new value by the same percentage. Okay, let's understand this. So if I say that salary of A is 200% more than salary of B, then what you can do is you can consider salary of B to be X. And I hope you remember this word more than from the previous lecture or from the previous video. This more than stands for change. So your change is twice of X. And your salary of A will basically become thrice of X. Because it's 200% more. And we have discussed what is meant by this word more than. So salary of A is 200% more than B. By what percent? B's salary is less than that of A's salary. Now understand interestingly again, if you go from X to 3X, or if you go from 3X to X, what is the change? Guys, the change is twice of X in both the ways. The change is twice of X in both the ways. But that's not the concern. What is the concern? The concern is the base value. When you're going from X to 3X, the change is 2X over X, which is like 200% increment. But when you're going from 3X to X, change is again 2X. But this is on thrice of X, which is only 66.66% decrease. Which is only 66.66% decrease. So if you're going from X to 3X, the percentage increase is 200%, or you need to increase X by 200% in order to reach 3X. But if you want to go from 3X to X, you need to decrease 3X only by 66.66%. You need to decrease 3X only by 66.66%. Okay. So what matters is the base value. I also use a more sophisticated word for this. I use the words reference value. So instead of remembering this formula as final minus initial by initial into 100%, I have a better way. And the better way goes something like this. That is, it is nothing but the change, or you can also write the absolute change divided by the reference value into 100%. Now that change can be positive, change can be negative. If you're going from X to 3X, positive 2X. If you're going from 3X to X, then negative 2X. Reference value is based upon which value you're calculating the percentage change, so that matters. Whether you're calculating percentage change on X or whether you're calculating percentage change on 3X, it matters. Okay. So percentage change is nothing but change divided by reference value into 100%. Okay. So one more thing, this is just an information. if your value, let's suppose, is increasing from $10 to $20, okay, remember that it is not necessary that you will have to calculate percentage change only with respect to $10. Remember that you can also calculate with respect to 20 also. It's a general it's a general notion that we calculate with respect to x, and we say that the percentage increases 100%. It's a general notion that we always take initial value to calculate percentage change. You can also calculate with respect to $20 also. There is no rule that you have to always calculate with respect to initial value. It's just that it makes comparison easier, that by what value it has increased or by what value it has decreased. That's another thing, but it's a general notion. You can't say that you can't calculate percentage change with respect to $20. That is nowhere mentioned in maths. Okay, remember that. So percentage change is simply change divided by the reference value multiplied by 100%. Okay, remember this. Okay, next application, an important one, that is successive percentage change. That is successive percentage change. For example, let's say I have a value x and I increase this value by 10% and then successively by 20%. I increase this value by 10% and then successively by 20%. So the question is, what will be the final value or what will become of x? What will be the final value or what will become of x? Now there are two ways of solving questions like these. There are two ways. One is you go the conventional way, that is you go step by step. So what is step by step method? Let's understand. If you are increasing x by 10%, then you are increasing x by 10% by 100% into x, which is 0.1x. Right? That this is how we convert percentage into absolute values, correct? So if you are increasing x by 10%, in other terms, you are increasing x by 0.1x. If you are increasing x by 0.1x, can I say my value after increment will become 1.1x? Yes or no? After increasing it by 10%, it's gonna become 0.1x. So now the value will become 1.1x. Now this increment of 20%. Now this increment of 20% is not on x. This increment is on 1.1x. This increment is on 1.1x. So let's calculate 20% of 1.1x. So that is 20% by 100% into 1.1x, and that will simply be 0.22x. So whether you increase 1.1x by 20% or whether you increase 1.1x by 0.22x, it's one and the same thing. It's one and the same thing. If you're increasing 1.1x by 0.22x, then this value will become 1.32x. This value will become 1.32x. We can take another example. Why increase? Why not decrease? So for example, I say that I have a value x. I am decreasing this by 10% and then successively decreasing this by 20%. So if you are decreasing this by 10%, if you want to convert that into an absolute value, so you are basically decreasing this by 0.1x. Now if you are decreasing it, we'll have to subtract it. Common sense. If you are subtracting, then it will become 0.9x. X minus 0.1x, that is 0.9x. Now if you are, now this 20% decrement, that you see, this 20% decrement will be on 0.9x, it will not be on x. So if you are decreasing this by 20%, you are decreasing this by 20% by 100% into 0.9x, which is like 1.8x. Sorry, 0.18x, not 1.8x, my mistake. Zero 0.18x. So if you are decreasing 0.9x by 0.18x, then this will become 0.72x. And that's your final answer. We can take another example. Why only 2 decreases? We can have an increase, we can have a decrease also. So increment by 10%, then decrement by 20%. Again the same method. If you are increasing it by 10%, you are basically increasing it by 0.1x. So this will become 1.1x. Now 1.1x is decreased by 20%. So decreasing 1.1x by 20% is like decreasing it by 0.22x. So this will simply become like 0.88x. 1.1 minus 0.22 is 0.88. So the answer is 0.88x. So this is one way, the conventional way, which I basically prefer. There is another way, which is the formula. You can make use of the formula. So the formula that we have is basically to calculate the overall percentage change. This formula will not give you the final value, guys. Remember that. This formula will not give you the final value. This formula will give you the overall percentage change or the net percentage change. So how do you use this formula? What is the formula? So the formula is A percent plus B percent plus AB by 100%, and whole is percent, of course. So what is A, what is B? So A here is the first percentage change. So if I take this example number 1 into consideration, my first percentage change is increment of 10%. And B is the second percentage change, which is like increment of 20%. Now if there is an increment, then you will take the numbers with positive sign. If there is a decrement, then you will take the numbers with negative sign. Now in this case, they both are increased. So my answer is 10 plus 20 plus 10 into 20, that is 200 by 100. So that is equal to 32%. So this 32% is the net percentage change or the overall percentage change. Rather than going step by step, what you can simply do is you can directly go from here to here. You can directly go. You don't have to do all these steps now. If you are successively increasing by 10 and 20%, your overall change is 32%. You can directly say that my value of x will increase by 32%. So if it is increasing by 32%, it's going to increase by 0.32x. If it is increasing by 0.32x, so it will become 1.32x. Alright, so this is basically how this helps you. You can use this formula. Let's suppose if I use this formula for the second one, let me use that. So if I use that for the second one, so this was for the first one. For second one, this will become, this is decreasing by 10, so this is minus of 10. Decreasing by 20, so plus minus of 20. Then they both are decreasing, so plus minus of 10 into minus of 20 by 100. You have to take the numbers with their signs. So minus 10 minus 20 is minus 30. Minus 10 into minus 20 is plus 200. Plus 200 divided by 100. So this is an overall change of minus 28. Now what is meant by minus 28? Minus here simply represents that the value is decreasing. So if you say that your value is successively decreasing by 10% and then by 20%, so your value is going to decrease by 28%. So if x is decreasing by 28%, then what is 28% of x? That is 0.28x. 28 by 102x, that is 0.28x. So you are decreasing x by 0.28x, then it will automatically become 0.72x. Let's do it for the third one also. So third one is this, and I'm writing the third one on the top. Okay. So increasing by 10, so positive 10, decreasing by 20, so minus 20, plus 10 into minus 20, that is minus 200 by 100. So this is like minus of 12%. So you can directly say that if you're increasing by 10 and decreasing by 20, you're gonna basically decrease this by 12%. So what is 12% of x? 0.12x. Subtract 0.12x from x, you will get 0.88x. So it doesn't matter which way you do it. It's your call. But the point is, remember that if you have successive percentage change for more than two successives, then the formula is too complicated. So in that case, you'll have to do it the conventional way. Okay. So let's suppose if x is increasing by 10 and then 20 and then 30, then do it the conventional way, one by one, one by one. Okay. So I hope this successive percentage change is clear to everyone. So let's move on to the next thing, which is application of successive percentage change. This is an interesting thing. Application of successive percentage change. First is, which you need to know, point number one, successive percentage increase is, remember that it is always greater than whole percentage increase. It is always greater than whole percentage increase. Now what do I mean by that? What I mean by that, let's suppose I have a value x, and if I increase this by 10% and then by 20%, and if I increase x by 10 plus 20, that is 30%. Whole means I'm simply like adding 10 and 20, and in one go itself I'm increasing this by 30%. If I'm increasing x by 10% and then by 20%, my net percentage change will be 32%. You can calculate also, this is 0.1x, this is 1.1x, then this is 0.22x. So this is like 1.32x. So overall net change is 32%. Net change is 32%. But if you are increasing x by just 30%, then it's simply increasing by 30%. If I divide this further, let's suppose if I, instead of writing 10 and 20, what if I write this as x increase by 10, then increase by 10, and then again increase by 10? Let's do it the conventional way. If I do it the conventional way, increasing it by 10, you are increasing it by 0.1x, this will become 1.1x. Then if you are increasing 1.1x by 10%, so this will be increased by 0.11x. So this is 1.21x. And if you are increasing 1.21x by 10%, so you're going to increase this by 0.121x. So this will become 1.331x. So you can see that the overall percentage change is 33.1%. So basically the point is, the successive percentage increase is always greater than whole percentage increase. Okay. So this is the first application of successive percentage change. The second one is successive percentage decrease is always less than whole percent decrease. This is the second application. Okay. So let's take an example again. So let's say that I have a value x, and if I decrease this by 10%, then successively decrease this by 20%, and I have a value x and I decrease this by 30% as a whole. Okay, let's compare both the cases. So if I'm decreasing this by 10%, I'll be decreasing this by 0.1x, so this will become 0.9x. And if I decrease this by 20%, then I'll be decreasing this by 0.18x, and this will become 0.72x. if you're decreasing, if you're going from x to 0.72x, you're basically going down by 0.28x, or you're basically decreasing your value by 28%. So your overall decrease is 28%. However, when you're decreasing it in one go by 30%, you're simply decreasing it by 30%. So successive percentage decrease is always less than whole percentage decrease. This is the concept. So to application, successive percent increase is always greater than whole percent increase, and successive percent decrease is always less than whole percent decrease. Okay. So this is more or less all the theory part that you need to know in percentages, which I've covered in 2 videos. All right. So that will be all as far as theory part is concerned. So I'll be making one more video in which we'll be solving questions pertaining to the theory that we have covered up. So thank you so much guys for watching. If you have any doubts, if you have any concerns, do let me know, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. All right. Thank you so much. Please keep watching and keep learning.